Hey folks, Quill18 here, and it is Ludum Dare Weekend. Ludum Dare, or Ludum Dare if you prefer, is a game programming competition, a game jam. It does come in two flavors, either the 48-hour solo compo or the 72-hour group jam. I don't do the jam, I do the 48-hour solo competition, so I have 2 days, 2 full days, 48 hours to make a game by myself completely from scratch. No existing music, no existing art. For code, you can only use stuff that is publicly available, so publicly available libraries. You don't literally have to start by, like, ones and zeros to write your own compiler or anything like that. Typically, we work with Unity, although we've done things in a few different things before. We did a Ruby on Rails web application a long time ago. We did a pure C# console application, an old school roguelike one time. I think I'll be working on Unity this time as well. Don't know if it's going to be 2D or 3D yet. We will see. And apparently, this is going to be my 23rd time doing this, almost all in a row. I was just reviewing here, so I started over in Ludum Dare 22. This is on the old Ludum Dare website, Ludum Dare 22, and then I think I did them all back to back, so there were 16 over here, and then over here there's another 6. I did miss out on Ludum Dare 41 and 43. I think there were some timing issues and things like that that really made it difficult, although there are some of these where I did, which went time hack, I literally did in 6 hours on a plane ride from Europe back to Canada, because I didn't want to break the streak back then, which was, I know, it was really satisfying. That's the thing. Even if you don't know much about programming, if you don't have that much time, just try a little bit, and you'll feel really good for having participated. The way it works, by the way, so at 9 p.m. Eastern time here, the theme will be announced, and that's when the programming starts. I stream the whole thing from start to finish over twitch.tv/Quill18. I do stop to sleep. But other than that, it's basically 48 hours of programming, and having you guys around really helps for that. And we crowdsource a few ideas. Yes, it's the solo competition, but for things like, especially say the title of the game, heavily crowdsourced, and that makes a lot of fun. There is voting after the competition is done. Everyone who participated can vote on other people's stuff. There's no prize for winning, though. It is just for the love of programming. Many people, though, who have made a game for this have gone on to refine and tune their game and actually get it published. There's quite a few examples. One of the ones that I play a lot all the time still is a game called Mini Metro, which was made, I think, for Ludum Dare 26. I think for Shoot. Where does it say the theme? Yeah, the theme was minimalism, and I think the person who made Mini Metro originally made it for Ludum Dare 26 there with the theme of minimalism. And it's great fun. So typically in the this announcement video, I go through all my previous games and things. I'm not going to quite do that this time because there's just too many of them at this point. But I did start with Paper Town. This was really an excuse to learn Unity way back when. Does it have the date on this? There you go. 2011 was this. This is my first time learning Unity. And it was done, I think, entirely in Unity, basically, other than some audio stuff. And all using just basic Unity primitives, blocks and capsules and things like that. And that was that. And then, yeah, Fish Tank Commander was our web strategy game. You could play against someone else. Pinballology, my first time doing pinball, and so on and so forth. Starting to do like a little bit of 3D work in Blender in those things. And then our first 2D game was actually one of my biggest and most successful games there was. Drill 18, The Mars Project over here, which was a sort of a mix between like a Sim Tower and a Dwarf Fortress kind of thing. It is great fun to play. I think, these downloads I feel should still be, these should all be good links. You could download this and go. I think these old web clients don't necessarily work. Those old web plugins, it's like gone the way of Flash, so the web version probably doesn't work in these older ones. Newer ones use a WebGL web thing instead, and they work okay. But if you want to play this one, download it, and it is pretty good. Wake Up Call was our pure C# console game, roguelike. I was very happy about that one. Dr. Deckenstein and Growth Industries are two of my favorites. These are strategy games, in particular card games. Dr. Deckenstein, basically, after I did this, sometime after that, a game called Slay the Spire came out that you may know about, and basically they just totally copied my idea. Okay, no, that's not really how things work, but yeah, basically, if you want to know what Dr. Deckenstein is, and you've played Slay the Spire, there you go. You kind of got it. Growth Industries was sort of loosely inspired by one of my favorite board games called Suburbia. It has a similar sort of tiling mechanic. I really, really like this one. I actually really like the user interface on it a lot. Something I try to do quite a bit. Hell Wars here in the screenshot looks like a little bit of a mess, but it's a tower defense game. And again, we actually put, even though like the actual UI graphics are kind of rough, a lot of effort was made into the usability. If you play this and you use like some of the these boosters, notice how like when you try to mouse over and place them, that it updates the UI dynamically all the time to give you a preview of the situation. Hell Wars 18, Soul Harvest. I do like my big convoluted titles. They are a lot of fun. And then finally, Kitchen Wizard Pinball. I love pinball in real life, so any excuse to sort of make pinball games as part of a Ludum Dare. Because the thing is, you can do a pinball game that fits any theme. Here, the theme was one room, so I'm like, fine. The one room is the kitchen, and it's going to be a pinball game about doing things in the kitchen, which I think is lovely. So yeah, pinball comes up a couple of times here. I even did a multiplayer first-person shooter game here for Minimalism, that shoot game, or AAA FPS game of the year over here. This is a 3D first-person shooter, similar, reminiscent to sort of a Quake kind of thing. Even has bot supports, but it also has online modes, although I don't think the online works anymore, because I think those servers are basically non-existent. Anyway, that was the last of it on the old site. And on new site, well, we've got Tub of War here, which I actually will be playing in a second to show that off. This was by far my most successful game. This is actually a terrible screenshot, to be honest, but the action is great, the graphics are great, the aesthetics of you're basically a kid playing with your toys in the tub really, really, really worked out. And it also has the best sound effects in everything I've ever made, mostly because of the quacking. Pipe Trek, sort of a pipe dream kind of thing. The UI, not by far, not one of my most brilliant entries overall, but I do kind of like the look of the UI. I think we captured that L-Cars kind of display a lot. Space Shoot was another thing. I don't think I streamed this weekend. This was like a... yeah, it was made in 2 hours, just to keep up my streak at the time. I did that one, but then I still missed that one, so not a perfect streak. Path of Excess, not a brilliant... It's sort of like one of these auto-advancing inventory management kind of games. Scrapitalism, it was made... This was intended to be mostly a tutorial Ludum Dare. Really right focusing on just some basics and try to be tutorially. Spent a lot more time explaining what I was doing during this one. So it's a fairly simple game, but it's not bad. And then we came to Dr. Deckenstein, which I really like. So this is a reference. This is sort of a prequel to the Dr. Deckenstein here. Dr. Deckenstein, An Adventure in Severed Parts. This game here, Dr. Deckenstein, Escape from Castlebrania, is a prequel to that. So you start off as a brain. We're going to be playing this one in a sec, but this is the first time I'd made a platformer. Always had sort of meant... A lot of people do platformers for Ludum Dare, because, again, platformers can sort of be applied to any genre there is, really. Like, if you did the one-room thing, well, you could be, a little, I don't know, a little army man jumping around in the living room or something like that. Like, that would totally fit the theme. But I had decided I had wanted to do a platformer going into this one because I had never done it before, and I was actually really, really, really happy with how this turned out. So what I want to do now is I want to open this, and I believe if I have the correct file over here, this will in fact be Tub of War. We'll hit play. One of the things I like about Tub of War, it doesn't have any in-game music, but the idea was to have so much density of sound. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack. That the music wasn't really required once we got into it. I suspect the game volumes will be a little loud when we come in here. So let me bring it down a scooch and then do that. So we got a little, the tutorial over here to tell you how to play, beware the quacking, movement, mouse controls. Easy peasy. So we're this little boat, and what we want to do is we want to bring these little dudes over here into a rescue area. Originally, it was just going to be pushing it around. You can actually even shoot them to do that, but then we added in this little rope to pull in, which made the game much better. So you only have a minute and a half to play, because then bath time is over and it's time for bed. But every time you rescue a toy, you get, I think, an extra 10 seconds added in. So if you can keep rescuing these little dudes here, you can get in pretty quickly. Not only that, but sometimes games, there are power-ups. Like, here we go. That's invulnerability, which is nice. That's another invulnerability, so that's not that helpful right now. There's a power-up that adds more time. There's health. Health is represented visually. These little tires that are on your side. Every time you get hit, you do lose one, although it's also listed in the top left corner, in case that wasn't clear. So you can pick up some more health as well. Oh, this is auto-fire. Auto-fire and infinite ammo. You have a little bit of a recharge counter in the bottom normally. Oh, there you go. Auto-fire and super cannon is pretty good, although I'm actually having a hard time picking up this dude because I keep knocking him away. There we go. And if you juggle, you can drag to these people at the same time. Bath time extended. Quack, quack, quack. Uh-oh, the Quackin has been released, you guys. Okay, well, we'll be invulnerable for it, which is good. Oh, Adam, ammo takes a lot of hits to kill. So there's the Quackin. There's the masterpiece of the game right over here. Ah, so lovely, so gorgeous. Oh, the bath bomb is handy, because it just blows up everything. And yeah, I do really like how that goes, and you can see the helicopter coming over here. And if we go over to the side, you can see they get dropped in the toilet. Oh, I had so much fun making this game. The thing is, while I always kind of like the idea of doing strategy games, the fact of the matter is strategy games are kind of hard to get right, because they need so much constant tweaking and rebalancing to get the magic formula in there. Whereas action games are kind of a little easier to find the fun, and to tweak the balance. But, I mean, visually, I think this really nailed the aesthetic I was going for. I mean, I'm not an artist in any way whatsoever, so the graphics always have to be really simple, but I was always really... Oh, yeah, the bath mat over here, and there's also a shower curtain. At least the Quackin in this thing here. Yeah, so I was really, 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 really happy with how that came out, and it is one of the highest rated games that I have done. Technically tied with Drill 18, but... The difference is Drill 18 was quite a bit earlier. In the competition, there was about twice as many entries, maybe 3 times as many entries. I can't remember when it came to Tub of War. Now, if we go back here to Ludum Dare 45, so this is my most recent entry. There we go, LD45 platformer. Normally I do this with my username. That's actually kind of dumb there, because I want to make it easier for people to download. Did I felt like... Oh, okay, I did double-click. I didn't dream it. All right. So, no title screen, unfortunately, on this one. Not really much of a menu. You can't even hit escape. We spent a lot more time on the art in this game. I mean, it's just pixel art, but there's obviously... oh, this is off by a pixel. It's not quite in the corner. I didn't notice that. Oh, maybe they're all sort of like that. I guess that's fine. Listen carefully to the sound effects of the brain. I'm going to crank up the volume here. By the way, almost all the sound effects in almost all of my games are made... Well, they're all made by me. Most of them are usually just made with me making sounds into the microphone with my mouth. So that's me just being like... kind of thing. And then finding good ones. Some of the sound effects are done by... tapping a wine glass is actually a really good source of it. And I can't remember what game this was for. It turns out if you tap like a wine glass and then reverse that sound, you get a really good laser sound. Pro tip. Anyway, so we are Dr. Deckenstein. Well, we're Dr. Deckenstein's brain. We've just escaped someone's lab or something like that. Originally, I was hoping to have like a little cutscene or graphic of like a jar falling over, and then you got that. You can collect waffles. You know, to see how well you did. Got these little rats, which would be very dangerous for us right now. Like, the vibe, I think, is really good. I don't think I'm going to worry about collecting all the waffles this time around. Let's let that rat go by. We have no combat. Got a little skeleton dude holding some sort of like a scythe kind of thing. There's like some extra little tease of a jump over there. I can't remember if there's a waffle up there or not. You can't climb these chains, although we considered it. And so you start as a brain. Oop, hold on. But very soon here, I'm not going to play through the whole game. You can play through it yourself if you want. The downloads are all available on the Ludum Dare website. You do this. There's a checkpoint here, by the way, in case you screw something up. There's lots of checkpoints in this game. The idea for these games is I hope to make them completable in about 5-10 minutes, theoretically, because people want to play a lot of these games to judge, and they don't have that much time. Plus, it takes a long time to develop a lot of stuff, so that's always my target, and I want to make the games beatable, so checkpoints are good. So here I've got a pile of corpses, and so now I've got myself, I've got a hand. Got to hand it to you. gotten a lot stronger. And I can go ahead and give a little punchy move over here. So if we come here, this was designed such that you can't progress this way. See this? You have to go through here. And, I mean, other than just jumping through and taking, you know, just a little bit of a damage boost, you have to kill that skeleton. So it forces you to know how the combat goes. We got the little particle stuff going on, which is a lot of fun. And if you do want to go and get all the waffles, you've got to backtrack here into that little area. But I'm just going to go and advance. There, you can see some more waffles down there. Kick this guy. Little lightning bursts, which are fun. Oh! We got ratted. We took some damage. You can see our health points at the top there. Wapow! Wapow! I like the little rat noises. Again, that's just me. And then you die. Level 2 in this game isn't brilliant. Level 1 is great. I mean, level 2 is fine. But I never felt it got the magic. I really like this first level, and the final level, I think, are actually both really, really, really strong. And yeah, you get more power. I can't remember. There's some cheats. I can't remember what they are. There we go, Shift E. I was going to say, hold on, I think I remember. So, Shift E to end the level. There's another one as well, but I can't remember what the hotkey is. That I think will just cheat and give you all the body parts, although that would actually break your game. So we got some lava in this level. Because, I mean, you need an underground cave level, and everyone knows, like, level 2 is always it, right? You know, Mario 1-2, you gotta go underground. It's just the rules. No water level here, though. Bit of a tease with the lava. One of the things with this is not only designing the platformer, but also learning the Unity tile mapping system. Some of these jumps are actually shockingly tricky. It was fun watching other people play this game for the first time, and some of them are really, really hard. I'm like, damn, did I make it too hard? I think this one's actually really brutal, because you got to be right on the edge. There's a bit of a generous sort of landing hitbox here. You can sort of hang off the edge a little bit more than you might expect it. So it's not quite as scary as it looks, but it does look very scary. I think I missed that one. Nope, I got it there. Oh, I died again, but I think there's a checkpoint right there. Yep, there is. And then, yeah, in case you forgot how to attack, it does show you that text every time you come back to life. Do that. Come down. Romp, romp, romp. And we've got another body part here, which enables... I think there's a torso. So now we move very differently. What's funny about this is our jump distance isn't changed, and I don't think our speed has changed, but it feels like we're so much slower and less jumpy, just as a result of the graphics. By the way, we have like a very different punch as well. A bit slower, but a bit more range. Less action ninja. And yeah, sometimes they sort of get stuck a little in the pixels, which I could have fixed, but I liked. We tweaked it a few different ways. We looked at a few different ways of working with that. And oh no! I didn't hold space long enough. But in the end, I was actually quite happy with them getting sort of stuck. If I shift E to the next level here. There you go, the final level. Oh yeah, that's what changed this one, is we've got falling rocks now, just to keep things exciting. And some of the terrain is destructible. Like that. Do-do-do. And then over here, you're like, okay, I'll come here and wait. What, there's a wall. What am I supposed to do? Oh, no. And then it turns out if you just come down here, we got another pile of corpses. And now we have 2 arms, and you can hold shift to dash. And as the helpful text was saying there, you can dash through walls. You can also shoot through walls with your ranged. Whoops. Timed that wrong. Helpful spikes over there. Anyway, that is that. I was very happy with how Dr. Deckenstein came out, actually. So, as far as this competition, I don't know what I'm looking to do. Of course, it'll depend a lot on what theme is chosen. I don't have my note file up here. I can't remember my votes. I'm going to be tweaking with some of these votes here. I basically just set some -1s and started to add some pluses as I started to feel like I had good ideas. I don't even know if that's going to stay there. I actually have no idea, you know, what I like for these things, because I'm still working on my idea file for all of these. So it'll come down to which one of these do I think I have good ideas for, which one of these do I think is just generally a better theme. But one of these will be picked as the theme, and we're going to try to make a game based off that. It has been a little while since I've made just a strategy game. I can't remember. I guess if I go here and go back to my games, I can get that screen again. So I got that, and I guess I lost the old one. because, well, this is a strategy game. I guess to a certain extent this one is too, but none of those are super brilliant ones. You know, I'm thinking of the original Dr. Deckenstein, the card game, would have been a good example of a strategy game I like, and I even like, what the hell, hold on, where's my, where's that page, Ludum Dare, Compo, there we go, this page over here, I don't know why I closed that, oh, Growth Industries, that's what it's called. A very, very good strategy game I was super duper happy with. But it is tricky because finding the balance in the strategy game is really rough. But it would be nice to do that again. It might be nice to do a card game again. But who knows? We might do another action game. We might do a shooter. We might do a platformer. All things are possible. We'll just have to see what the theme is picked. It doesn't make much sense to lock in hardcore to an idea. Although, last time I did, more or less, I really want to emphasize the platformer last time. And it could be fun to do again, but it would have to be a very different feel platformer if we did it again. But that might be worthwhile. I don't know. Folks, thanks for watching this. Hopefully you'll come out. Twitch.tv/Quill18. We'll be streaming all weekend, unless I am asleep. But otherwise, streaming all weekend from 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, which is when the whole thing ends. Chat is encouraged, generally speaking, whenever possible. Put out some beta builds for everyone to try out early as well. Usually that happens more of a Sunday thing. By the way, you don't want to miss Sunday, because Sunday is normally when we do all the sound effects, and that is just a kooky fun time. Not to be missed. God, the sound effect time is so fun. Hopefully I'll see you there this weekend, folks. And hopefully, if you yourself are a programmer, hopefully you will participate in Ludum Dare, because it is incredibly satisfying to do. Again, even if you don't feel like you're a very good programmer, you don't feel like you have much time, just do something basic. Make Pong and try to find an excuse for why it fits the theme. No one will care. It's going to be fine. See you. Bye-bye.